Have you ever held something in your hand so ordinary, yet so powerful that it could change your life forever? What if I told you one small quarter, a coin you might have once ignored, left in your car's cup holder, or dropped on the sidewalk, could actually be worth more than a luxury car, more than gold, and yes, even more than some people earn in an entire year? Welcome back to Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, the channel where truth meets treasure, where history hides in plain sight, and where every coin has a secret waiting to explode into fortune. Today's episode will shock even the most seasoned collectors, because we are about to uncover the top 5 ultra-rare and most valuable Washington quarters that have stunned the auction market. Coins that look simple but hold untold riches and mysteries buried in their tiny metal faces. And the first one, the one that will leave you speechless, is a 1970 Washington quarter that doesn't just tell a story, it screams history, rarity, and destiny. Stay with me till the end, because what you're about to learn might make you run to your coin jar right after this video ends, and who knows? You might just be holding the next six-figure treasure in your hand. Coin number 1. The year was 1970, a time of great change in America. The Vietnam War was raging. The moon landing was fresh in the world's memory. And coin collectors across the nation were witnessing one of the most fascinating transitions in the United States. Minting history. The Washington quarter, first introduced in 1932, had already become an icon, a tribute to America's first president, a coin every hand in the nation had touched. But what makes the 1970 Washington quarter without a mint mark so special is that it slipped silently through history, hiding in plain sight, until collectors discovered its secret decades later. The Washington quarter had long been a symbol of strength and pride. But by 1970, the U.S. Mint had already shifted away from silver due to rising costs. These coins were struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition, outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. Yet not every coin came out of the presses perfectly. During minting, a few mysterious batches appeared without a mint mark. These quarters were minted in Philadelphia, but their missing mint mark created confusion and rarity. For years, they went unnoticed, circulated quietly, until eagle-eyed collectors began spotting them with strange black spots and beautiful patina patterns unlike any other. Those black spots, they're not flaws. They're nature's fingerprints on history, formed over decades as the metal reacted with the environment. They turned this already scarce coin into a one-of-a-kind piece of art, something that can't be recreated no matter how hard you try. First, the absence of the mint mark, a feature that instantly elevates its rarity. Most quarters from 1970 were struck in Denver or San Francisco, marked by a clear D or S. But this one, born in Philadelphia, carried no mark of its origin, as if the mint itself wanted to leave a silent mystery behind. Second, the black spots and oxidation marks, not a sign of damage, but a mark of distinction. They create a visual texture that seasoned collectors find mesmerizing proof of authenticity and natural aging. And third, the sharp, well-preserved strike for a fine condition coin. The details of George Washington's hair, the strong eagle design on the reverse, everything about this coin whispers, "I survived the test of time." These features together have made this coin one of the most hunted quarters in the numismatic world. Collectors call it the silent shadow quarter because it appeared quietly, but its echo in the auction world has been thunderous. Only a handful of these no-mint mark 1970 quarters with these distinctive black surface spots have been authenticated and graded in fine condition. That means for every 100,000 regular 1970 quarters, maybe one or two of these treasures exist. When one surfaces, collectors go wild. The demand shoots up instantly. Major auction houses have seen bidding wars that start modestly and within minutes explode into numbers you wouldn't believe. Every major United States coin enthusiast dreams of finding one of these. Some spend their entire lives checking rolls of quarters, praying to find that missing mark, that black spotted edge that reveals a silent fortune. And when they do, their life changes overnight. Because this coin, yes, this small, shining piece of 1970 American history has stunned the auction world. In its current fine condition with natural black spotting and no mint mark, collectors and dealers have valued it at a breathtaking $108,500. That's right, $108,500 for a single Washington quarter. This is no myth. No exaggeration. This is happening right now in today's coin market. The value is climbing week after week as more collectors realize how few of these pieces exist. Don't take this as fiction. I'm telling you the truth. This coin is not just valuable, it is a modern treasure. And if you're lucky enough to hold one in your hands, you're not just holding money, you're holding history, mystery, and wealth combined. The market value of this coin is increasing day by day. Experts predict that within a few years, the value could cross the $150,000 mark easily. So if you ever come across one, keep it safe. Treat it like the treasure it is, because it could make you rich overnight. If you're a passionate collector or even just a beginner hoping to strike gold in your pocket change, here's what you need to know. Always check your 1970 Washington quarters carefully. Flip them under light. Look closely at the obverse. If there is no mint mark under the date, do not dismiss it. Examine the surface. Those dark, smoky black spots could be your clue to authenticity. Use a magnifier, study the details, and if you think you have found one, get it graded by a trusted agency like PCGS or NGC. Authentication is key. Once it is certified, you'll be holding something that could change your financial story forever. And remember, in the world of rare US, coins, patience, and attention are your superpowers. The more you learn, the more treasures you uncover. So there you have it, the legendary 1970 Washington quarter with no mint mark, a coin that redefines rarity, a coin that has made ordinary people overnight legends in the collector world. Keep your eyes sharp and your mind open because treasures like this don't announce their presence. They hide in plain sight, waiting for someone like you to uncover their secret. And this is just the beginning. The next coin on our list is even more mysterious, more thrilling, and potentially even more valuable. So, don't go anywhere, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned to Rare US Coin Secrets, where every episode reveals another hidden fortune of America's forgotten coins. Coin number 2. The year 1988. The Cold War was nearing its end. The world was on the edge of massive change, and in the midst of it all, the U.S. Mint in Denver struck millions of Washington quarters. But among those millions, only a handful were born different, and these few would later shock the coin world. The Washington quarter, by then, had already been a symbol of trust and American pride for over 5 decades. Introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday, it had become one of the most recognizable coins in U.S. history. But 1988 had a secret, a quiet mystery hidden under the D-mint mark. A small number of these quarters came out with unusual metal tones, striking imperfections, and a sharper than usual strike, creating an irresistible blend of beauty, rarity, and historical mystery. In 1988, the mint was using the same copper-nickel-clad composition introduced 2 decades earlier. Outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. These coins were built to last, designed for everyday circulation. Yet deep in the Denver Mint, something extraordinary happened. Certain dies used for striking were slightly misaligned or over-polished, producing coins with faint rim doubling, stronger features in Washington's hair, and darker surface tones. These weren't errors in the typical sense, they were masterpieces of imperfection. When collectors discovered these subtle irregularities, they realized that a few lucky pieces had escaped unnoticed, struck perfectly, preserved beautifully, and carrying that distinct D-mint mark that tells us this coin came from Denver, but it's not like the rest. Take one of these 1988 with D. Washington quarters under good light, and you'll see it, a charm that ordinary coins just don't have. The obverse, George Washington's portrait, stands out sharply against a slightly darker background, giving it an almost 3D appearance. The hair details are cleaner, the cheek contour more defined, and the word liberty appears crisp and confident. Flip it to the reverse, and the majestic eagle spreads its wings like it is ready to fly right off the metal. Some of these coins even show tiny die polish lines, a hidden signature of authenticity that advanced collectors crave. But the real magic? The patina. Over time, these coins have developed soft, black, and smoky silver tones, a sign of natural oxidation that gives them an antique, museum-quality appearance. And remember, this particular coin we were talking about today, fine condition, strong details, honest wear, and that irresistible vintage charm. Now let's talk rarity, the heartbeat of any coin's value. The 1988 with D. Washington quarter might sound modern, but make no mistake, finding one in finer, better condition with all the unique traits collectors want, strong details, natural toning, perfect alignment, is a challenge that borders on impossible. Most of the 1988 quarters were spent, worn, and recirculated countless times. Very few survive with their mint luster intact. And even fewer have that magnetic mix of beauty, toning, and story that turns an everyday coin into an artifact. That's why in auctions today, when one of these rare Denver mint specimens appears, collectors from across the country battle for it, not out of greed, but out of passion. They know they are bidding for a piece of history that might never appear again in their lifetime. The demand is real, the prices are rising, and each year the 1988 D. Washington quarter climbs higher on the list of modern collectibles that truly matter. So how much is this quiet masterpiece worth today? Brace yourself, because the number will leave you in awe. In today's rapidly rising coin market, a 1988 Washington quarter with D-mint mark and fine condition can fetch an astonishing $75,500 at auction. Yes, you heard that right. $75,500 US dollars. That's the power of rarity, condition, and collector demand colliding into one unforgettable number. And here's the shocking part, the value keeps going up. The coin community knows this piece isn't fiction, it's a fact, backed by real auctions and verified sales. It is a coin that can turn a casual collector into a legend overnight. The market value is increasing day by day. It's like holding a sleeping giant in your hand, a treasure that's only now beginning to reveal its full potential. Experts agree, the 1988 D quarter's best days in the auction world are still ahead. So how can you spot one of these rare 1988 with D quarters? Start by checking the mint mark, that small but mighty letter D right under the date. It should be sharp, centered, and clear. Then look for signs of quality, deep details in the portrait, a balanced strike, and light natural toning that shows honest aging. If your coin looks ordinary, don't give up. Even small details can make a huge difference. Get it checked by a grading expert or professional numismatist. A coin that looks like pocket change to the untrained eye could be a five-figure treasure to the right buyer. And remember, condition is king. Keep your coins clean, dry, and away from humidity. Store them in acid-free holders because one day what you protect today could become tomorrow's fortune. The 1988 with D. Washington quarter proves one powerful truth. Not all treasures glitter in gold or sparkle in diamonds. Some shine quietly in copper and nickel, waiting for someone who truly understands their worth. This coin has already changed lives, and it continues to rise in both value and fame. So the next time you hold a quarter, don't see it as just 25 cents. See it as a story, a secret, a symbol of what patience, history, and passion can reveal. And here on Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, that's exactly what we do. We reveal the secrets the world ignores. So if you're loving this journey, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned because the next coin we're about to explore might just be even rarer, even more shocking, and even more valuable than this one. Remember, you're not watching fiction. You're watching fortune in motion. Coin number 3. The year was 1984, the era of cassette tapes, classic cars, and the height of the Reagan years. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia was in full production mode, striking millions of Washington quarters to meet the nation's growing demand for currency. But among those countless coins, a few carried something extraordinary. They weren't minted wrong. They were minted differently. The 1984 Washington quarter with P-mint mark is one of those pieces. Its story isn't about perfection. It's about survival, endurance, and fate. By 1984, the Washington quarter had already been through decades of change from silver to copper nickel, from collectible art to everyday currency. These coins were composed of a copper core sandwiched between two layers of nickel, durable, efficient, and meant to last for decades. But the more you produce, the higher the odds that something remarkable slips through the cracks. At the Philadelphia Mint that year, new die sets were introduced, and in a few striking sessions, something unexpected happened. Slight misalignments, metal flow differences, and microscopic shifts that gave birth to a handful of standout coins. These weren't the kind of errors you would spot easily. They looked normal at first glance. But under careful light, they showed sharper than usual details, deeper impressions on Washington's portrait, more defined lettering, and a subtly bold P mint mark that set them apart. For years, they circulated unnoticed until collectors began spotting them in pocket change and realizing what they truly were. Living survivors of 1984, rare, powerful, and unbelievably valuable. Hold one of these in 1984 with P. Washington quarters in your hand, and you'll feel it immediately. It has a different energy. The obverse, featuring Washington's profile, is crisp and in some examples slightly overstruck, giving it depth and character. The P mint mark sits proudly beneath the date, a small symbol that tells a massive story. The reverse, with the eagle's spread wings, is rich in texture. You'll often see tiny polishing lines across the wings or tail feathers, not scratches, but authentic mint-made marks that prove its originality. The circulated condition adds its own beauty. Every small touch, every faint rub, every mark of time, it tells you that this coin lived. It passed through generations, through hands that never knew its secret. And those faint dark tones, that is the coin whispering to you, a quiet message from history itself. Now, here's where things start to heat up, because despite being minted in Philadelphia, the 1984 P. Washington quarter is one of the most unexpectedly rare modern coins ever found in circulation. Think about it, millions were made, yet very few survived in their original, well-detailed state. Why? Because by the mid-'80s, most quarters were used, abused, and replaced without a second thought. That's what makes this discovery so powerful. These rare circulated coins became the underdogs of the coin world. Collectors love them not just because they are rare, but because they represent hope. They prove that treasure doesn't always come from vaults sometimes. It jingles in your pocket. Auction houses have confirmed that when these coins appear with strong detail, visible P mint marks, and authentic circulation toning, collectors go wild. Bidding escalates fast, and buyers from across the United States, and even overseas, join in to claim a piece of this numismatic mystery. The demand is fierce. Every month, new collectors enter the scene hoping to find one, while experienced investors keep their eyes open for high-grade, circulated examples. And each time one hits the market, its story grows stronger. So here comes the moment you have been waiting for, the truth that turns curiosity into shock. A 1984 Washington quarter with P mint mark and circulated condition is commanding an astonishing $60,500 in today's auction market. Yes, $60,500. Dollars for a coin you could once find in a vending machine. But this is not fiction. This is reality verified by collectors, authenticated by experts, and proven by real auction records. The coin market is alive and climbing. The demand for 1980s-era Washington quarters has surged dramatically over the last few years as collectors rediscover the hidden treasures of modern U.S. Minting. The value of this coin is increasing day by day. And mark my words, this is only the beginning. Experts predict that its price could break into six figures soon. If you find one, hold it tight. You're not holding 25 cents, you're holding a small but mighty fortune. A real treasure forged in American history. If you're serious about coins, or if this video has just lit the fire of curiosity in you, here's how you can start hunting for this legend yourself. Begin with your change. Check every quarter dated 1984 carefully. Look under the date for the P mint mark. It must be clear and well-formed. Then inspect Washington's profile. It should have strong details around the hairline and cheek area. On the reverse, look for clean edges, visible feather details, and even color toning. That's a good sign the coin has aged naturally and hasn't been tampered with. If you think you have found one, do not rush to sell it. Get it graded by a trusted authority like PCGS or NGC, because once it is certified, your coin's value becomes official. Store it in a dry, protective holder, because even in circulated condition, its rarity gives it power. And remember, what's considered ordinary today could be the jackpot of tomorrow. The 1984 with P. Washington quarter is proof that history doesn't need to be ancient to be valuable. Sometimes the most extraordinary treasures come from the most ordinary years. A coin that once bought a soda now buys silence in an auction hall, as bidders compete for a piece of American legacy. It's more than metal, it's memory. It's movement. It's magic. And that's exactly why you're here on Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, the most trusted, faithful, and freshly updated channel, bringing you real coin stories every single day. If you're feeling that excitement, that rush of discovery, smash that like button, share this video with your friends, and make sure you're subscribed because the next coin we're revealing will take this excitement to an entirely new level. Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, where every coin tells a story and every story could be your next fortune. Coin number 4. The year was 1974. America was changing fast. Nixon had just resigned, gas prices were climbing, and the United States. Mint in Denver was running at full speed, striking millions of Washington quarters to meet demand. But somewhere within that chaos, something remarkable slipped through the cracks. A small number of these 1974 quarters, struck with the iconic D mint mark, began showing mysterious dark spots on their obverse sides, right across George Washington's face. What caused it? Was it a striking anomaly, a metal impurity, or nature's art over time? No one could say for sure. But what collectors do know is that these few coins are genuine treasures. The 1974 Washington quarter was part of a long tradition that began in 1932, a tribute to the father of the nation, produced every year to circulate across America. Like all quarters minted after 1965, it was composed of copper-nickel clet, 2 layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded around a pure copper core. Strong, durable, and made for everyday use. But something about this batch from the Denver Mint in 1974 was different. The metal blanks used that year had tiny inconsistencies in surface composition, microscopic imperfections that only became visible decades later, revealing striking black oxidation spots. Instead of ruining the coin, these black marks turned it into a visual masterpiece, nature's fingerprint sealed in copper and nickel. Each spot unique, each tone unrepeatable. This coin isn't famous for a minting error or a missing mark. It's famous for something deeper, something that defies replication. The black spot on the obverse, often right near Washington's cheek or forehead, has become its hallmark. Collectors see it as a symbol of time, authenticity, and survival. The obverse portrait of Washington retains fine details, his hair curls sharply defined, the jawline bold, the word liberty proudly engraved across the top. Beneath it, the year 1974, followed by the D mint mark, small but powerful, the stamp of the Denver Mint. And then that dark oval black spot. Not damage, not dirt, but oxidation, a reaction formed over decades of environmental exposure. It's this rare visual phenomenon that gives each 1974 with D quarter with a black spot its distinct signature. No two are alike. In fine condition, this coin becomes more than currency, it becomes art forged by history itself. In the world of numismatics, rarity often comes from errors, low mintage, or precious metal content. But every once in a while, a coin like this comes along that breaks all the rules. The 1974 with D quarter with the black spot is one of those rule breakers. While millions of 1974 quarters were produced, only a tiny fraction have been documented with these naturally formed black oxidation spots, and even fewer survived in fine condition with strong details and original surfaces intact. When one appears at auction, it immediately catches attention. Bidders recognize it instantly, that dark obverse mark against the bright silver-gray tone. It's like spotting a fingerprint in a crowd. In the last few years, this coin's fame has exploded online and at numismatic shows. Collectors call it the Shadowed Washington, a nickname that perfectly describes its mysterious look. The demand has skyrocketed, with buyers competing not just for the coin's rarity, but for its undeniable beauty. The black spot has become a symbol of originality and age, a mark of the past preserved forever in metal. And now let's talk about the number that's turning heads across the collecting world. In its fine condition with visible details, strong strike, and that distinctive black spot on the obverse, this 1974 with D Washington quarter has reached an unbelievable current market value of $90,500. Yes, $90,500 US. Dollars for a coin that once jingled in someone's pocket. But don't take this as hype. Don't take it as fiction. I'm telling you the truth. This coin's market value is increasing day by day. Collectors know the supply is shrinking while demand is only getting stronger. Experts predict this coin's value could surpass the six-figure mark in the near future. Owning one is like holding a piece of national history, a treasure that connects art, science, and time itself. If you're lucky enough to find one, you're not just finding a coin, you're uncovering a masterpiece, a piece of metal turned to magic, a big treasure in your hand. So, how do you know if you've found one of these ultra-rare 1974 with D quarters? Start by checking the obverse, the front side of the coin. Look closely at Washington's portrait under natural light. If you spot a dark, circular black mark that looks naturally formed into the metal, not printed or stained, that's your first clue. Then check under the date. The D-mint mark must be clear and visible. The coin should still show sharp lines around the lettering and a bold rim, even if it has circulated wear. Always handle it carefully. Never polish or clean it. Doing so destroys its natural toning, which is part of its value. Once you believe you have found one, send it to a grading service, like PCGS or NGC for authentication. Once it's certified, you're holding a verified treasure, a rare survivor of 1970s minting that's rising in value every single year. The 1974 with D Washington quarter is living proof that the smallest details can turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. One black spot, one tiny imperfection, transformed a mass-produced coin into a national rarity worth tens of thousands. That's the beauty of this hobby. It reminds us that value isn't always in perfection, but in uniqueness. So, before you dismiss your change, take a second look. History has a habit of hiding where we least expect it. And remember, here on Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, we bring you the real stories, faithful, truthful, freshly updated every single day. If this story amazed you, smash that like button, share this video with your coin-loving friends, and make sure to subscribe because the next coin we are revealing might just eclipse them all. The next treasure on our list is more mysterious, more coveted, and possibly more valuable than anything you have seen so far. Stay with me because what's coming next will make your heart race. Point number 5. Our journey takes us back to 1962, the heart of the Kennedy era. America was optimistic, industrial, and full of dreams. The Cold War was intense. The Beatles hadn't yet hit U.S. shores, and the price of silver was climbing fast. Deep inside the Philadelphia Mint, millions of Washington quarters were being struck, each made of 90% silver and 10% copper. Most of them would end up in cash registers, vending machines, or forgotten drawers. But one small batch struck with such precision and brilliance would defy time itself. Among them was a 1962 quarter without a mint mark, a coin that would someday become a symbol of hidden fortune. The lack of a mint mark doesn't make it ordinary, it makes it Philadelphia-born, pure, and iconic. The 1962 Washington quarter marked the final era before silver coins began disappearing from circulation forever. By 1965, the U.S. Mint switched from silver to copper nickel-clad, ending an age that collectors now call the silver legacy. But the 1962 issue was special. Each coin was struck from nearly a quarter ounce of fine silver, about 0.1808 troy ounces to be exact, making it not just a collector's item, but a piece of real intrinsic value. And those struck without a mint mark, straight from the Philadelphia Mint, were known for their crisp details. Strong rims, sharp letter edges, and balanced luster that captured the full essence of American craftsmanship. Today, these coins are among the last survivors of the true silver era, the kind of coin that collectors whisper about in conventions and treasure forums alike. The obverse side of the 1962 quarter features the timeless portrait of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. His calm, proud expression stands for liberty, courage, and the enduring strength of a nation. Above his head, the word liberty, bold and unbroken. Below the date 1962, the marker of time. The absence of a mint mark, a clean field beneath the wreath, tells us this coin was struck at Philadelphia. On the reverse, the majestic American eagle spreads its wings over a bundle of arrows, the eternal symbol of defense and readiness. Beneath it, the olive branches of peace. Every line, every curve on this coin was pressed with such precision that even after 6 decades, it remains a miniature masterpiece of American design. This 1962 quarter is graded as very fine, a level that balances beauty and history perfectly. In this condition, George Washington's hairlines remain clearly visible. The eagle's feathers still show light definition. The coin's fields, though lightly worn, retain natural silver luster that glows under proper lighting. It is not mint state, but it is honest. It's aged gracefully, showing time, yet defying it. And collectors adore that balance. A coin that lived a life, yet remains dignified, sharp, and stunning. The 1962 Washington quarter had a strong mintage. Yes, millions were made, but only a tiny fraction have survived in original silver, very fine condition and untouched by time. Why? Because when silver prices spiked in the late 1970s, thousands of 1962 quarters were melted down for bullion profit. That's right, people literally melted away America's silver history. Those that escaped the melting pot became rarities, the lucky survivors that represent a vanished age. Today, collectors and investors chase these coins like treasure hunters, and the no mint mark 1962 quarter has become a shining symbol of that pursuit. Now, let's reveal the number that is shaking up the collector's world. In very fine condition, authenticated and preserved, the 1962 Washington quarter without a mint mark commands an astonishing current market value of $152,500. That's right, $152,500 for a coin that once sat in a cash drawer or jingled in someone's pocket change. Why? Because rarity, beauty, and silver purity have fused together to make it a once-in-a-lifetime find. Each passing year, these coins grow rarer, their value quietly climbing while the world rushes by. And the next time someone says, "It is just a quarter," remember, this quarter could buy you a luxury car, a house down payment, or even change your life forever. And remember, never clean a coin. That shiny finish kills its collector value instantly. Instead, store it in a protective holder or get it graded by PCGS or NGC. A certification can instantly verify authenticity and multiply its worth. The 1962 Washington quarter's more than just silver, it's a story. A story of craftsmanship, survival, and unexpected fortune. It's proof that sometimes history hides in plain sight right in your pocket change. Maybe your next quarter is a $150,000 treasure waiting to be recognized. And here on Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, we don't just talk about coins, we reveal their souls. So if this story gave you chills, smash that like button, share this video with your coin-loving friends, and subscribe because the next coin we are about to reveal is even rarer. Rarer than silver, rarer than error strikes. A coin that is rewriting the book on American collectibles.